Reports are mounting, and it looks like Onana is becoming Manchester United's #1 choice when it comes to recruiting a goalkeeper this summer. The Inter keeper was widely praised last season for many in world football, not just because he shines in the traditional goalkeeping areas, but because of his on-the-ball abilities. And I think there's a lot about him reminds me of Barthez, who was probably ahead of his time when it comes to being a goalkeeper that liked to play with his feet. Barthez was also off his nut and had a clanger in him because he used to do just generally very, very wild shit. And Onana is basically just cut from the same cloth. He's got the same level of ability, I think, as Barthez, and he's also got that absolute carnage in him where he could do anything, I think. United's current problem at the moment is that Ten Hag cannot implement his style of play with David De Gea in net. And as of now, David De Gea is a free agent, hasn't signed a new contract. Don't know if he's going to get to sign a new contract. And it looks like United are trying to move on from the David De Gea era at Manchester United. And Ten Hag obviously is a man that has worked with Onana before, which gives it a lot of credibility that this would be a good signing. The fact Ten Hag has worked with him before and still wants to work with him has to be seen as a massive plus. And I think that's probably one of the major reasons United are looking at bringing him in. But I want to look at the other reasons, like the actual data on whether or not this is a good goalkeeper and a genuine upgrade on David De Gea. So if you look at his actual goalkeeping abilities, he's actually superior to David De Gea in almost everything. When we look at the stats, compared to keepers in European top 5 leagues, he ranks extremely high in the big following areas. In terms of save percentage, he was ahead of De Gea with 76.4, De Gea all at 71. That put him in the top 12% of goalkeepers around the world. Goals against, 0.95 per 90, put him in the top 15. De Gea was 1.1 against per 90. Clean sheet percentage was a bit similar actually, 43.2% to De Gea's 44. Crosses stopped, 6.1%, which puts him in the top 44%, and David De Gea was in the bottom 9% of that one. Not good at all. More than twice as many crosses stopped as De Gea would. De Gea only pips Onana on the clean sheet percentage, and Onana is probably a better goalkeeper at the goalkeeper stuff than David De Gea. Onana is a keeper that joins the two centre-halves in possession to create a back three when we've got the ball. He is very comfortable taking the ball. You could even say too comfortable at times the way he takes the ball. And in Martinez and Varane, United have got two centre-halves who have proven they can play football to a very, very high standard. And both have improved United's possession since signing. The problem that they have is David De Gea, behind them, his inability or complete lack of desire to get involved in possession means that Varane and Martinez don't have the confidence receiving a ball from De Gea, but also don't have the confidence in playing it to him. And we saw it was a fuck up that was a combination of Harry Maguire and David De Gea was a massive one last year that I think a competent goalkeeper and a competent centre half don't put themselves in that sort of position. Now, having a confident ball-playing goalkeeper doesn't just improve that position directly, but it improves all the players around them. You see when Martinez is breaking the lines from centre-half, United's attack gets more momentum and our attack gets more potent. Well, it's the same all the way back to the goalkeeper. The confidence players will have knowing that if I pass it back, I'll get it back from him and there's no dangers and he's not just going to send it long, lose it on the halfway line, and then we're going to have to defend. You know that you're going to keep hold of the ball. That's a massive thing. Onana was in the Barcelona academy and he learnt his trade at Ajax. It's safe to say this is a guy that knows how to play football. And Ajax especially, but Dutch football in particular, has always had comfortable ball-playing goalkeepers. It's just something that they've had for several decades now. He averages 43.8 touches per 90. That puts him in the top 10% of European keepers. In the Champions League, in a quarter-final versus Benfica, he had a pass completion of 87%. And he is a keeper who, behind the back four, isn't just confident when it comes to playing, but it's the sort of thing that'll do wonders for the team. It'll really help take us to that next level. And he will be another bit of solidity in United's spine. He is a fantastic sweeper keeper. something that De Gea just doesn't do. It allows United to press up even higher because we can win the ball back, and he can deal with those long bouncing balls that come over the top. He's very adept at doing that. He's very comfortable with doing that. And like we said, the build-up's where we're really going to start to notice him, I think. De Gea's distribution was poor, both short and long. It was poor. And it's a weird one for me because when he first came, he had it, and then he lost it during his time at United, which I find really strange, but that's what happened. He limits what United do on the ball, and he looks worried when he has it, and that's probably the most frightening thing when it comes to De Gea. He looks terrified. Onana exudes confidence. He calmly picks out the sixes or the centre-halves. He can spray nice long balls in for attackers to run onto. And you could definitely picture United being pressed when Onana just doshes one over the top into the channel or the half space for Marcus Rashford to run onto, and United will score from one of those. If he signs, I'm predicting he gets 1 assist at least next year. And that's incredible. What an asset. He instantly becomes a player that's going to start attacks for United, almost like a quarterback. And that means that if you get pressed, you can still be a threat. And that's going to discourage the opposition from pressing you, which is a good thing. Whenever De Gea was pressed in possession, we would smash it out and you would invariably lose it on the halfway line. You're not going to get that with Onana. He is a modern day keeper in that sense that he can play and benefit a team that is under pressure. And I think there is a little bit of long-term vision to him. He is 27, so he's not old. He's not really at the peak age yet for a goalkeeper. There's still room for growth. And like I said, there is still a little bit of a mistake in him, but I think his mistakes are far less frequent than David De Gea's. Van der Sar arguably had the best years of his career at United, and that was in the late 30s. Onana could be United's keeper, conceivably for 8 to 10 years without any dramas whatsoever. If you have to start looking at how United might line up with Onana in the team, then Onana at the back, Shaw, Martinez, Varane. And it's a bit of a toss-up who's going to play right back. Might be Dalot, might be Wan-Bissaka. I think it's still completely 50-50 at the moment in terms of which way Ten Hag's going to roll with that. Midfield, I think we're going to switch to more of a single pivot. And I can see that being Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno. And then Anthony on the right, Rashford on the left, and TBC, new striker. I think they're trying to make it Højlund up front. All of a sudden, there is a spine to the team. If you manage to sign a Harry Kane, that's a very, very, very good team. I don't think you're going to get Kane. I think it'll end up being a bit more Højlund. But I think it'll be potentially the best team United might have. If you got Kane, I think you could comfortably say this is the best team United had post Sir Alex. And it's getting there. You've got 2 fullbacks capable of playing football, capable of defending. You've got 2 centre-halves that are certainly the best we've seen since Rio and Vidic. You've got a goalkeeper that's going to be happy being pressed. You've got a system that suits the players that are in it. And it's starting to look like a team that might be able to compete. The addition of a top-class modern goalkeeper, and to be honest, I still would prefer Costa over him, but it doesn't look like we're going with Costa, so there's no point in me doing a scout report on him right now. I think with the addition of a keeper that knows how to play and certainly knows how Ten Hag wants to play, United looks so much better instantly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.